Chairs. Delegates, what at first may seem like a very good amendment, we think is actually a rather grotesque one. From first-hand experience, we can tell you that the documentaries on BBC, the British Broadcasting Channel, which are about disabilities and people with disabilities, are nothing more than sophisticated versions of 18th century freak shows where people are invited to point at the freaks in a cage. Delegates, in all seriousness, the main aim of these shows, like all shows, is to get viewers. And even if they are national broadcasting companies, they don't succeed and they don't go to television if they're not going to attract people. And people aren't attracted by the raw science and the raw everyday lives of people. They're attracted by interesting things, intriguing things. And exactly what this resolution is trying to do is trying to show that disabled people are normal people with normal lives like you and me. Delegates, these documentaries highlight everything that is bizarre, everything that's new, everything that's out of the ordinary about disabled people. And it's completely anathema to what we're trying to do. We urge you very strongly to vote against this amendment and what is otherwise a very good resolution. We urge you to vote for. We're open 20 on all points.
Are there any such in the House? Somalia, Mali, and Armenia, you have recognized.
Would the delegates agree that there is an ethical dilemma in the UN leaning on a news channel, something which it seems would be like the path to totalitarian control over the media?
Very much, and we agree with you from yesterday that, firstly, effectuation is a word, by the way, and secondly, the effectuation of this clause is completely impractical because you can never command British Broadcasting Company or other companies that are national news networks to broadcast things that the UN wants them to broadcast. But thank you for your time.
Would you not also agree that in addition to the numerous problems with the different documentaries, the choice of verb encourages shows no method of the actual action that would be taken to carry out this amendment, which makes it rather pointless?
Exactly, Delegate. I mean, there are several horrific examples, and on Channel 4 there are often documentaries with names like The Boy Who Had Two Heads or The Boy Who Had Seven Hearts. And frankly, there's no genuine human interest in the story unless they're bizarre, unless they're freaky, and unless we can kid ourselves into thinking we're taking an interest when what we're really doing is thanking ourselves that we're normal, that they're not, and we're allowed to poke at them in a grotesque freak show. Thank you for your point.
Is the delegate aware that documentaries are not freak shows and they actually show what is actually happening, such as the movie last night here at MUN at this conference center about child soldiers? It actually showed what actually happened to these soldiers, and even though it does seem grotesque and heart-wrenching, it is actually true. So I believe that the delegate of Armenia believes that documentaries show exactly what is happening, show the raw footage and the raw, true things that are happening. So I believe that they affect and they show people exactly what is right instead of what is stereotypical.
There will be no dialogue on the floor.
Yeah, thank you for your point. Delegate, if it were the case that documentaries showed everything that were true, then it would be the case that we'd see people with 7 heads and 45 hearts walking around the whole place. The point of the matter is that people with disabilities are just like you and me. And if these documentaries were serious in going about showing how their lives are just like ours, they wouldn't show people with 49 million heads. They'd show people going about their daily lives in wheelchairs, perhaps not with debilitating facial disabilities, perhaps not with grotesque extra limbs. They'd show people like you and me who happen to be wheelchair users or who happen to have problems with reading. Delegate, the point is that these programs go out of their way to show everything that is out of the ordinary about disability. And what we're trying to show is everything that is ordinary about it. We thank you for your point.
Thank you. Could the speaker please give the floor to the chair?
Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me? The word is underestimation. Thank you. Sorry, there's been a point. Could you please speak into the microphone?
Motion to move to voting procedure.
The chair stands corrected. It is indeed a motion. That will, however, be overruled as we only have 50 minutes left and there's still some speakers left. So the floor is once again open. Are there any speakers wishing to take the floor? There's been a point of order. Oh, the chair stands corrected. We will move into voting procedures on the amendments. Could the admin please close the doors, suspend note passing, and assume their voting positions? All delegates in favor of this amendment, please raise your placards high. Section 1.
2.
Section 2.
5.
3.
3.
All delegates voting against. Section 1.
33.
Section 2.
35.
3.
47.
All those abstaining. You may lower your placards. Section 1.
12.
Section 2.
4.
And 3.
3.
With 10 votes for, 115 against, and 19 abstentions, this amendment has failed, therefore clapping is not in order. The floor is now open. Are there any speakers wishing to take the floor?